Hello everybody and welcome to another ADM Agriculture Grain Market Update. My name is Chris Colley and I'm the barley trader here at ADM, and I'm going to talk you through today some of the things that we're seeing out there in the barley market. So to start off by looking at the S&D, this graph here shows the UK planted area of barley, all barley that is, as supplied by the AHDB's early bird survey figures. And what we see is a decline in barley acreage, which has actually been on the decline since the record year we saw in 2021. Now, this decline is largely made up from a drop in spring barley acreage, and the reason for this was the larger wheat area that farmers chose to drill in the autumn, owing to the favourable gross margin that wheat provided. We expect that this planted area will give us a production of somewhere in the orbit of just under 7 million tonnes, which again is anywhere between 500,000 and 1 million tonnes lower than some of the production figures we have seen over the last few seasons. When taking this figure and plugging it into the S&D, it helps us to give us an estimate of what we are expecting to export next year, i.e. how tight or how plentiful is the barley balance sheet. And as we can see, the dotted line there shows the 23-24 forecast, which comes out just under 1 million tonnes, which isn't the lowest export figure we've seen in the last few years, but it certainly isn't up there with some of the big years we saw, such as 1920 and 2021, where we shipped between 1.25 and then that big year just under 1.8 million tonnes. And actually it looks like we're going to be probably in the region of 100 to 150,000 tonnes lower export requirement than this last season, although this does depend obviously how the yield of the spring crop comes in. The winter barley crop so far looks to be coming in around average. But to move on to that, I guess this will come as no surprise to many, but the weather over the last few weeks has been much less than favourable for a good harvest. This chart here shows the precipitation analysis for the last fortnight or last 2 weeks up to the 25th of July. And as you can see, the UK has been very, very wet, which has really hampered harvest progress. And we estimate that at this stage, only about 17% of the total UK barley area has been combined. Of that, we estimate around 40% of the winter barley has been cut nationally, and only a tiny negligible amount of spring barley has been cut. But we have heard that some areas of the UK have received double the average rainfall that they would see usually during July, and this is as a result of the jet stream getting very much stuck over the UK. So we see lower pressure and cooler, wetter temperatures. Meanwhile, wildfires and record heatwave continues to be seen across other parts of southern Europe. Now, the effect that this is having on the market is limited at the moment. Actually, we've seen a bit of a spot squeeze over the last few weeks as some traders struggle to find supplies for nearby commitments. However, on the whole, the demand for barley in the spot position has been very lackluster, despite barley pricing at a significant discount in harvest as it is in the deferred positions. We have been largely uncompetitive for export for quite a while now. Spain is going to need a lot of barley this next year, around 3 million tonnes. But so far they have a healthy export program coming out of the Black Sea, out of Romania and Bulgaria, and that has limited our export pace until now. We expect that as harvest progresses, we may have to keep pushing to find that export demand, but that all depends again on how the crop yields. Finally, just to take a quick look at the wider market and the technicals on London wheat. We are just looking at a few changes in momentum over the last couple of months. Obviously, you can see here the market has sustained a long-term downtrend from the highs in October last year, which bottomed out on the 31st of May at £180.90. What's significant recently is the market has started moving into this upwards channel, as you can see, and the market is posting a series of higher highs and higher lows as well, which definitively changes the nature of the move. So we would define ourselves as being in an uptrend now. The market sentiment has changed in recent months, obviously, on US weather, and more recently in the last few sessions, as you can see, heightened volatility resulting from the developments in the Black Sea grain corridor or breakdown of this deal, and the subsequent rhetoric that has come from both Russian and Ukrainian forces, who have said that they will target or consider cargo ships in the Black Sea as legitimate military targets. So once again, the market remains incredibly difficult to call, but perhaps there is a glimmer of hope for the higher prices in the future. As always, if you have any further questions or queries, please feel to reach out to one of our team using the details at the end of this video. Thank you.